it's none of my business, but the girlies are combing out their locks. Hello beautiful dreamers, and welcome back to Life of a Dreamer. My name is Darian Wright. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So if you have been on this channel, you know that I have had my DIY Microlocs for over 2.5 years now. I know, time is flying. But I know a little something about the locks. I know a little something about something. But Microlocs are not for everybody. No shade, but I'm here to spread the info. So let's get into it. You know I love talking about Microlocs, and I get so many questions from so many people here on YouTube, on different platforms about Microlocs. So let me know in the comments down below if you would be interested in like a guide for Microlocs, kind of a beginner guide, but also like a complete guide talking everything Microlocs, from the tools that you may need, any resources, just kind of my experience and what I've learned, because it has been a lot. But let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I already started making it. I'm really excited, so let me know if that's something that you would like, something that would be helpful, or someone you know may find that helpful, and I will let you know when that is available. So I remember seeing Microlocs on Instagram, I think for the first time in like 2019. I know what sister locks are. My whole family has had locks at some point, so I know about the lock community. My mom used to do hair, but Microlocs and like DIY Microlocs really started popping up around 2019 for me, and then they really blew up in 2020. I think because we were all in quarantine, we were trying to figure out what to do with our hair. Like, it just seemed like a good style. There were girls on like Instagram and Pinterest that had beautiful heads of Microlocs, and so I think like the trend or the style just kind of took off and blew up and went crazy. So since then, I've seen so many people, including myself, get Microlocs installed. There's Microlocs with extensions, just natural hair. People are doing all kind of stuff with their Microlocs. But I'm also noticing lately, a lot of people are combing their Microlocs out. Even some of my favorites, and it's hurting my heart, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, it's hurting my heart. Do what you do, live your life, but it's hurting my heart. And listen, everybody has a right to do what they want with their hair. Some people are just tired of the style. Some people never thought it was going to be permanent for them, and they just wanted to grow their hair, get it fuller, get it healthy from whatever state it was in, and then comb it out and have loose natural hair all over again. That's fine. Do what you want. Listen, I'm not here to judge. But since having my hair, going through some ups and downs with it, spreading all the information that I'm learning along on my journey with you all on my different platforms, I think I could be of some assistance or some help by kind of spreading some information that people may not think of before they get their Microlocs installed or in the process of considering getting Microlocs. So I think the number one reason you should not get Microlocs is if you have unrealistic expectations. Listen, I know like every other woman who is considering Microlocs or has considered Microlocs, you saw a beautiful head of Microlocs on a beautiful woman on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook or somewhere on the internet. You saw this gorgeous hair of Microlocs. You loved the color, you loved the style, you loved the curls maybe, you loved how thick they were, and she just looked gorgeous. She was thriving. She didn't have to do much to her hair. She just seemed like she was living the best life. And you wanted that. I know, because I wanted the same thing. But like I've said on a lot of my Microloc videos, we have to have realistic expectations because all of our hair is different. You may admire somebody's curl pattern that does not match your curl pattern at all. So when you get your Microlocs installed and they don't look like the girl who has been on your vision board or your screensaver for like couple years now, you're gonna feel a little discouraged because you got your Microlocs installed without realistic expectations. You have to know your hair. Know what hair type or curl pattern you have. Know your density. Know what you can handle in your lifestyle. You have to include all of these factors into your planning and your consideration and your research of getting Microlocs. Your hair may not come out looking like your hair inspo's pictures. And who knows, it may end up looking even better. I know, we see the beautiful pictures and we have the hair envy and we have the FOMO. We want to live in somebody else's hair, and it's just not going to be that exact experience when you get your Microlocs. It's best to just keep everything to what you know, what you can control, what's going on in your world. And even along on this journey, you may not know how things turn out because it literally is a journey. Having Microlocs has been some ups and downs for me, going all over the place, but I've enjoyed my journey. It's taught me so much, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but it is exactly my journey. Another reason why you should not get Microlocs is if you are looking to skip the ugly phase. We have all heard it, we have all seen it, and let me tell you, we all start off with thin hair. No matter how thick your hair is, once it's plaited down into little braids or tiny little twists or interlocked all the way down, y'all, we all look like plucked chickens out here. I have seen so much of my scalp, more than I've ever seen in my life. And that's just how it is. And I love my hair so much in my install that I didn't even notice how crazy I looked. Which I wouldn't say crazy, but I didn't know how my hair was looking until now when I look back at old footage and I'm comparing it to my hair now, and it's gotten thicker, it's filled out a little bit, and I'm like, my hair was kind of stringy, kind of thin, kind of in the beginning stages of Microlocs. And I didn't even notice it because I was so excited to have Microlocs. I loved every journey, every step of the journey. And also there are options out there. So you may consider getting extensions with your locks if that's something you want to do to kind of skip that short phase. But also to go along with the expectations, your hair is going to shrink up. So unless you start with hair that is probably touching your butt, your hair is going to shrink up and then it's going to fall eventually. So that's just something to expect, and it is what it is. And again, I say it is part of the journey. And plus, you know, we just kind of make it work. Throw some scarves on there, throw some little hair accessories, you know, do what you can do to make it work. That beginning phase or that beginning stage will not last for long. I'd probably say about 6 months to a year, maybe even shorter depending on your hair. Like, who knows? We all have different hair out here. So another reason why you should not get Microlocs is because you just want a lazy style that you don't have to do anything to. Sweetie, I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this to you. Microlocs is not a lazy style. Now, it has afforded me a lot of time, a lot of ease in my life. We all do the shake and go, spread down a little bit, and that is great. But also, there are things that you have to do to take care of your hair. As someone who handles my own reties and does everything to my own hair, it's not an easy style. And even if you have a loctician, you still have to do things to your hair to help maintain its health, help protect it. You gotta wrap it up at night, or you gotta have a satin or silk pillowcase. You gotta have your satin or silk bonnet. You have to be really conscious of like the clothes you wear, because as your hair rubs up against like a sweater, it could get a lot of lint in it. And once that lint gets in there, Lord, I mean, you gotta leave the lint in there. If it's out of control, you just gotta leave it in there and dye your hair black. That's what the girlies are saying. We won't even get started on lint, but yeah. With Microlocs, you still have to do things to it. And one of the things that the girls don't like to do, which I've seen a lot of people, and it's like damage their locks and they end up combing them out, they don't like to braid and band their hair. I personally don't like to do it in the shower. I've said many times on my channel that I do it out of the shower, but the braiding and banding definitely helps protect the locks. It takes a little bit of time, I'm not gonna lie. I talk about this more on some of my previous videos, so I will have that linked above for y'all to check out and also down below. But you gotta do stuff to your hair. This is not a put it in my head and just go and not have to do anything ever to my hair. You gotta maintain it in some way for the health and longevity of your locks. Another reason why you should not get Microlocs is because you don't have a plan. As someone who installed my own Microlocs and I maintain them, I do my reties, I dye my hair, anything involving my hair is all done by me. And let me tell you, it is a lot of work. Not gonna lie, my retie days or week is like long and annoying, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I love my hair, I trust myself with my hair, and it's worked out well for me. But if you are not someone like that who is going to take the time to do your hair, you don't know where to start, that's not something you're interested in, you need a plan to find a good loctician, because y'all, there are a lot of scammers out here. There just are. Once the trend blew up and people saw that they could be making money and the amount of money that they could be making from Microlocs, the scammers rose like zombies from the dead. So you have to find a good loctician. You have to have your schedule down. You have to know how Microlocs are going to work in your lifestyle. If it's something that you actually can do realistically, you have to have a plan, especially a retie plan, because once those Microlocs are in, you can comb them out. You can take the time to take them out. But if you don't want to do that and you actually want your hair to be healthy, you have to know what your hair goals are, what your expectations are, just so you can have a good foundation and not just be out here like, oh, I saw this hairstyle that looked really pretty on somebody else and I want to do it on me. Just have a plan. And the last reason you probably shouldn't get Microlocs is a little 50-50 because it will vary between each case. But you probably shouldn't get Microlocs if you have a health condition that is currently affecting your hair. If you have a health condition that you like have no control over, where your hair may be thinning or falling out, then you probably shouldn't get Microlocs, because that tension and that pull that comes with maturing Microlocs, they do get a little bit heavy. They can cause more hair loss if they're not installed properly, if they're like right up on your edges, if they're really tight, if there's a lot of tension, can just pull out more hair, damage your scalp, damage the follicles. And so it's probably not good to do something like that. But if you have hair loss due to like tension, protective styles, just not taking care of your hair, getting Microlocs can actually help that, because it's less like pull on your hair. You're not manipulating it as much. So a lot of people do see a lot of hair growth and their hair thrives and gets thicker and fuller with Microloc. So it's 50-50. If there's something that you cannot control and it's affecting your hair, I would not suggest to install Microlocs, because it could lead to things getting way worse. But if there are things that are causing hair breakage, hair thinning, that you know you can fix, and you talk to a hairstylist or somebody who knows what's going on and they know that this style will be good for your hair health, then go ahead and do it. But if it's something that's out of your control, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it to myself. It would just cause more stress, and it'll just make life even more stressful than it already is. So those are a few reasons why I think you should not get Microlocs. But again, it's none of my business. Maybe you have all these reasons on the list and you still get Microlocs. And you could do that. As the good sis Tabitha Brown says, it's your business. It's your business. I'm just here to spread the information. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it to somebody who think it may help. Don't forget to follow me on my other social medias. Subscribe down below and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Because we got a lot more videos coming for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.